Hey guys, this is Chetan from Gizmo Times and you're watching a quick comparison of the Poco X2 with the Xiaomi's Redmi Note 8 Pro. While the Poco's X2 is finally here and you might be wondering whether this could be the best mid-range smartphone in the market, the Redmi Note 8 Pro is no bad deal either. It still is one of the best phones and that's what would create the confusion. Although Poco is an independent brand, it still runs the same MIUI. So that's where the confusion would be, whether you should consider something like the Poco X2 or you should still be happy with the Xiaomi's Redmi Note 8 Pro. So this is going to be a quick spec comparison. Stay tuned for the gaming comparison. We would do a separate gaming comparison because these chipsets are pretty important for gamers. Both the chipsets, I mean the Poco X2's Qualcomm Snapdragon 730G and the Redmi Note 8 Pro's Helio G90T from MediaTek. Both are made for gamers in the mid-range category. So obviously we'll be doing a separate video entirely showing you the frame rate possible and the heating, the battery drain, and so you should stay tuned for that. But in this video, let's talk about firstly the design. It's quite a unique design on both of them. Both have a glass back, Gorilla Glass 5 protection, and it's a scratch resistant back based on the Gorilla Glass 5 protection. But again, they are prone to breakage. So it totally depends on what you would want to choose. Because in the end, if you look at it, the Poco X2's ring around it seems like something that is different in looks, but in the end the vertical camera arrangement is the same on both. Even the camera combination is almost the same, or you could say it's the same itself, because 64 MP primary camera, 8 megapixel wide angle with the same aperture size, 2 MP macro and 2 MP depth cameras. The quad camera combination on both the phones is the same, though the arrangement is quite a bit different, because the Redmi Note 8 Pro has the macro camera a bit on the right, and the place for the fingerprint sensor is just below the camera here. And on the Poco X2, the fingerprint sensor is not on the back, which doesn't mean that it would be a part of the in-display fingerprint. It still is on the side, that's on the power button. So it's kind of a different location, but it's still present. It's not a part of the display. And in a way, that's one of the major differences in the design, where the fingerprint location is different. But with the displays, it's IPS LCD on both of them. There's no difference in that. There's no AMOLED now. While the screen size is a bit different here. 6.67 inch is the screen size of the Poco X2, while it's 6.53 inch, a bit smaller on the Redmi Note 8 Pro, though the resolution is almost the same, 1080 into 2340 pixels with a 19.5:9 aspect ratio, and it's 1080 into 2400 pixels, 20:9 aspect ratio. Both have the maximum brightness of 500 nits, which is quite a good brightness again, and along with that you have the Gorilla Glass 5 protection on both the phones, which is quite the same. So a bit of a size difference, nothing else differs in that. And with the MIUI as well, internally it's Android 10 based MIUI on the Poco X2, and it's Android 9 based MIUI 11. So MIUI 11 is the same version on both of them, the latest MIUI, but again it depends on Android 10 here, which brings in the Android 10 based navigation gestures that are not possible on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. And since both are not AMOLED, you obviously won't be getting those always on displays by default. You might be able to use some workarounds, but there's nothing by default offered here, so no difference in that. It's a MIUI for Poco, but obviously it's almost MIUI, and there's no huge difference there, except for the fact that the MIUI for Poco brings in that app drawer, which is not present on the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro. Again, you can use launchers, you have settings for those kind of things, but there's only a little difference between the MIUI on these two devices. Now the major difference is with the chipset or the processor here. It's Qualcomm Snapdragon 730G versus the Helio G90T. 730G on this one is the 8 nanometer chipset, so this is much better with the battery efficiency. It comes with the octa-core CPU, and it's octa-core even on this one, the MediaTek Helio G90T. So the gaming frankly is better on the Helio G90T, or at least the graphics settings that are possible are better on the Helio G90T. But stay tuned for the complete video around that. These are two octa-core chipsets. They are capable of a lot of things. It's Mali G76 MC4 GPU, while it's the Adreno 618 GPU, so the GPUs differ quite a bit. So stay tuned for that video. But for the performance, I'd say day-to-day usage, I had been using the Redmi Note 8 Pro when it was launched back then, and it was always good with the performance. The same is with the Poco X2. Now it is no different with the performance. It actually performs quite well, but the fact that it doesn't have as good settings compared to the Redmi Note 8 Pro for the gaming still makes it not the best deal out there if you are someone who is interested in gaming. And next, with the selfie camera, it's a 20 megapixel selfie camera on both of them. While it's an f2.2 aperture on the Poco X2, it's f2.0 aperture on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So a bit brighter or better in low light conditions. It's on the Redmi Note 8 Pro, not on the Poco X2. Battery capacity is the same, 4500 mAh battery on both the phones, no difference there. But fast charging, that's a major plus for the Poco X2. So if you're again someone who's into gaming, who's fine with the Smooth Plus Ultra option, and you feel like you should be playing game on this and be good enough with it, or play with the GFX tool and get better options, fast charging is going to be much better on this one. 27 watt is the fast charging support on the Poco X2, while it's 18 watt on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. Given that it's a high capacity, it obviously should be taking more than about 100 minutes to charge a Redmi Note 8 Pro, but it takes just about 75 to 80 minutes for the Poco X2 to charge from 0 to 100 using the 27 watt charger, and that charger is present inside the box. So you aren't going to spend any further if you're buying the phone so that you get the fast charging support. That's with the 27 watt fast charging, and that's a major plus. So I'd say a couple of differences majorly is with the chipset performing better on gaming on the Redmi Note 8 Pro, while the fast charge support is better on the Poco X2. These are the two major differences. With the cameras, it's almost the same, but again, with the chipsets that are given here, obviously the optimization would be different, and there the final output would be different. So we'll try to do a camera comparison if you guys are interested, but right now we would be dedicated more towards the gaming part of it. So stay tuned for the gaming video that will be coming up soon on the channel. So that's it in this video. This was a quick comparison of the specifications offered and my early thoughts about the phones after I have used the Poco X2 now for a considerable amount of time. Earlier we had to wait because we got it a bit late, and that's why we couldn't do the comparison of this one with the other phones, and now finally we do have it and used it for a few days. So now this was a quick comparison of the Poco X2 with the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro. Stay tuned for the gaming comparison and the other comparisons of these two phones, and subscribe to Gizmo Times for more. Thanks for watching, and see you next video.